go get them again.
Welcome back to another unboxing first impression video on my channel. Today we're delving into the Prada line and this one called Luna Rossa, where it all started, the eau de toilette. Just as a brief, I did check out the Googles. When I did this fragrance review, I recall that they re-released this. I believe this is the older version, so not the 2024 re-release of the fragrance. It is for decanting. There's only a little bit left of this fragrance, but we're going to delve into it. And this is a gentle reminder of my hate for Luna Rossa as a line as a whole. I remember that dark, stormy day, little innocent Mark, you know, probably in my mid-20s at this point, in a duty-free, right? My first thought was Prada Amber Puram, where I first sniffed that. I loved it, 10 out of 10. Sweet innocent Mark, right? Prada Infusion d'Homme, 10 out of 10 on my channel at that point. So Prada was doing no wrong at that point. And I'm like, oh, they released a new fragrance, Luna Rossa. I'm gonna smell. Usually, oh my God, usually I just blind buy. When I go through duty frees, there's so much going on. I just go, okay, new release for the channel and all that. That was way back when. So I'd buy like stuff like, I bought some of the best designer fragrances that I have, like Autumn Parfum. I got that. I got DHI. I was in Europe, so I was just checking out some great releases that weren't available in Canada, US, and all that. Anyway, I digress to the story of, I still remember that dark, gloomy day, smelling this off a strip and going, what? And walking away sad. I was sad. So it turned me off the whole Luna Rossa line. Now, it's been a while, 2012. So it's been 10 plus years since then. Since then, I've ignored the Luna Rossa line. I ignore this. I'll tell you about the stories and how I got these, but I've ignored the line. I was like, this is garbage. I'm not going to check that. And they've, you know, released Prada L'Homme, all that. So I've been checking out those fragrances. Anyway, on to these guys. This was a blind buy. This is Extreme. I bought it a few years back, maybe 3 years back, blind buy. Obviously knew it was discontinued. I got it for I think I paid like $130 or something like that. So it was pretty much retail. I think it was Fragrance X that actually had this in stock back in I got an email saying this is back in stock. And I'm like, well, this has been discontinued for like years. I clicked on it and it was there. I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And lo and behold, it's my first Prada Luna Rossa. This is not my second. This is for decanting. I still haven't decanted this one. You've seen the video a few weeks back. It's getting ready to be decanted. Again, there's not much work here. There's like maybe 5-10 mils in that bottle. Same here. So these are going to be decanted together here. So we have a rich history, me and this little gray bottle. Not a good one. This is going to be, I haven't smelled Luna Rossa, the original, since that sad day. But it is a drastic downfall from Infusion d'Homme, Prada Amber Puram, and the L'Homme line. So we're going to see where this goes. It's most likely, I'll be honest, I'm not a flip-flop reviewer. When I publish a video, unless it's an unboxing, there might be differences, obviously, because I haven't spoken about dry down, things like that, experience, all that. But once you watch a fragrance review, a proper one from me, my channel, even a test drive, which has like several days of wearing, which is that kind of video now, that's mostly reviews now on my channel. I haven't done a full-fledged review in years. I'm personally, my taste doesn't change. So yeah, in your journey, it is going to change, right? If your nose is fairly new and it's developing and you're smelling stuff all the time, it is going to develop and it is going to, it's going to start going into more quality fragrances. It's going to delve into, if you keep smelling things, you're going to see that, oh, I didn't like this 6 months ago, but this, I love it now. It's one of my favorites. That's kind of out the window for me. I'm at that point now that my nose is back then, right? Smelled this in 2012. I hated it. Probably going to hate it again in 2025. It's not going to change. So that's where I'm at. My fragrance reviews are exactly like that. You don't even have to ask me, do I feel the same on one of my reviews? If I give a fragrance a 10, a 9, a 4, a 1, it's still that to this day. There's going to be maybe some minor changes here and there. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Mark. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, much appreciated. To my returnees, I don't know why you're checking this out, just for giggles, right? You want me to smell this again. Okay, I see you. At least hit like for my hurting here. So much appreciated. Let's take a look at the note breakdown on this one. Up top, we got lavender and bitter orange. In the mid, we got mint, clary sage. And in the base, we have ambrette and ambroxan, right? I remember this being a metallic lavender thing. I remember it like it was yesterday. Now, this was released back in 2012. Nose, famed, great nose, Daniela Andrier. I don't know what happened here. Daniela, I don't know. Now let's look at pricing. Obviously a typical designer pricing. So it retails for about 120 USD on Prada's site, and you can find it at discounters. If you search around, this has been available for years and years. So these kind of fragrances, you're gonna have a fluctuation of price. The sweet spot's around $70 to $90 USD for 100 ml. That's for a brand new product, and of course the big boy bottle. Obviously you can find it less than that if you got a smaller bottle. Obviously Facebook groups is great. A lot of people probably selling used bottles too. So let's smell this one. Let's see how I feel about Prada Luna Rossa, the Eau de Toilette. No video on my channel. Now it will. Let's go. Yeah, I'm staring into the abyss right now. It smells a little better than I remember. And again, in duty free, if you're gonna learn any lesson out of this, duty free is probably not the best place to, any fragrance shop is not the best place to test anything. There's too much scents going on. There's scent strips everywhere, leaky bottles. You're smelling it off strip, not the best way of doing it, but this smells a little better than what I remember. It has mint. I don't remember smelling mint when I first smelt it. It was like a metallic lavender thing. There is lavender. It reminds me a little bit of Le Male. A little bit. There's a little bit of bitter citrus. That bitter orange is there. Meh. Not great. Not great. We're not going to move mountains here on what I thought about it. Ooh, okay. It's a generic clean scent. Yeah. The thing is, the big hop from the other things from Prada, that might be my issue here as I'm trying to compare it to other things. So, even if that line doesn't exist, I have higher hopes for Prada, but let's just say this smells like something, like which brand, like a step up from an Azzaro fragrance? Maybe? It doesn't scream luxury. I think they've really toned down the ozonic ambroxan thing here. I remember it being way more scratchy in this. It's definitely a lavender-based scent profile. It still has a screechy base. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's a lot less in your face than it used to be. Maybe this thing got reformulated. It has that barbershop ambroxan fougere thing going on. I just think L'Homme, Prada L'Homme, and Prada Amber Pour Homme, and even Infusion d'Homme are all way better scents. And they are used for the exact same situations as this one, right? They're clean, office friendly, things like that. And they smell much better quality. Those are the good reason. Those are the the big pieces of the Prada lineup, where I place Prada a little higher than a lot of other designer fragrance brands. Unfortunately, this is their bread and butter now. They are just releasing Prada Luna Rossas. Amber Put-Um's dead, unfortunately. Also a great scent profile. Infusion D'Homme has been rebranded. Most men won't even touch it because it's in the Infusion lineup, in the women's aisle kind of thing. Obviously, Prada L'Homme has also been, touched upon, right? Not available in certain countries, available in others. Yeah. It's... I'll eat my words. I think it's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a drastic big change of, oh my God. However, it's exactly what people say it is. Obviously an office wear scent, easy to wear, signature scent worthy, right? Something that you can, any age can wear it. It's not like it's super childish. Is it one of the worst fragrances I've smelled? No. It's not as bad as I remember it. Is it any good? No, it's not even touching anything else. This one, I prefer this one over this one, but it has a lot more personality. We're comparing apples and oranges here, right? This is more of a office, gray suit kind of guy versus night out, right? Just wearing casually a hoodie and jeans and going out and play pool or something like that. It's better than Carbon. I like it better than Carbon. It's okay, right? If you can get it for 50 bucks, I don't think anybody that's in my shoes in regards to your journey owning all this wouldn't blow your socks off. It doesn't with mine, but I've been a little harsh on it, and it actually opens up the valve a little bit that I maybe open. A lot of people have recommended me a Prada Luna Rossa Black. They compared it to Bulgari Black, Midnight in Paris. Like a tea-like smoky thing? That sounds interesting. That sounds blind buy worthy, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just the run-of-the-mill, like I rather wear this than a Zorro Chrome, if that tells you anything. However, would I suggest this to anybody as an office wear scent? Absolutely not. Just in its own family, I'd be like, hey, Prada L'Homme, Prada Amber Put-Um, the intense versions of those, right? There's a lot of Pradas that are ahead of this. It will definitely not hit a top 5 Pradas of all time. Well, they don't have a huge Rolodex, honestly, but just thinking of all the Prada L'Hommes and its flankers, Prada Amber Put-Um, Infusion D'Homme, it might sneak in the top 10, but like at number 10, and it's just because there's not enough numbers. Honestly, there's just not enough numbers. But it's okay. Yeah, I'll give it its flowers, as little as flowers that I'm giving it. I'll give it some flowers. Now that you're my take, I'd love to see yours and cons below. Good, bad, and the ugly. You could do a lot worse for an office, just a signature type scent. Yeah, you can do a lot better, but you can do worse. It's like a middle road kind of thing. I can't wait to see the comments, right? There's some people that love this kind of stuff. Some people hate it. I don't think I'm in the hate pile now. I'm in the meh pile. Not a sexy fragrance review, right? People want to see fragrance reviewers. I'll say something, big and bold and crazy, and probably a lot of my Robes 08, subscribers for years and years, you know me. I'm not gonna pan something just for funsies. No, if I'm wrong or I feel like I overreacted, and in this case, I'm not way off base, but it's not, it's not a terrible release. Like I've smelled some fragrances in the designer game and I'm like, poor, right? This is not in the poor, whatever that sound is, lineup. It's like in the meh, right? Would I buy it? No, absolutely not. No, but, right, it's okay. As always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely, especially your office one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.